I think for me, it's like life in general. I call it one big life. It's really the journey itself. That, every day wasn't glorious and fun, but we always collaborated. We always could just pick up the phone or text or call or email. And it was a collaboration. It was a partnership.
I'm Dan Zamlong. I'm a partner with Warburg Pincus's industrial team. I'm here with Mary Zappone, the CEO of Sundyne. We partnered with Sundyne over the past 5 years to transform what was a non-core division of a larger company into a real industry leader. And today we're going to take you inside that journey. Let's start with a little bit of basics. Tell us, what does Sundyne do?
So Sundyne makes highly engineered pumps and compressors, and we serve various end markets across energy and chemicals, including renewables.
So let's rewind to where you came in. What year did you join the company?
I joined in July of 2021 as the CEO.
And when you think back to when Warburg invested in the company back in March of 2020, the world was shutting down because of COVID. So it was a pretty tough environment. Part of the reason we were attracted to Sundyne was because of that really resilient nature of the business, because of that large install base. That got tested right away, but we recognized during that period was we really needed additional leadership and skills to really inflect growth and take it to the next level. And that's where you came in. So tell us a little bit about why you decided to partner with Warburg Pincus and join Sundyne.
So I already knew Warburg Pincus team through reputation, and actually this is my fourth private equity role. I was looking for a growth business versus a business turnaround business, but still business transformation. And I was also looking for global, and then of course looking for a terrific partner. And luckily I was able to get all of those.
I appreciate that. And once you got into the business, what were some of your initial impressions in those early days?
Balance across many fronts. So we're balanced geographically. We're balanced on the pumps versus the compressors, on the split of the revenue. And then we're also balanced on projects, so the units, and aftermarket. And all of these things really work nicely together. I think some other observations were more around just how excellent and exceptional the technology was.
I think one of the most challenging parts of the role of a CEO of a complex global business like Sundyne is really setting the priorities. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you went about doing that, how you set the agenda, and what were the top things that you focused on out of the gates?
The business was already very successful. So what we wanted to do together, and we were very aligned, when at the time I joined, was to grow dramatically. So we focused on specific markets. We also looked at aftermarket because that was an area of, brings the highest contribution to the company already. We knew that pricing would be a lever, and we had a joint pricing steering committee, and we developed just different pricing tools and initiatives that we were able to outstrip inflation.
Those are all great points. So I want to dive a little deeper into a couple of the value creation initiatives. One that's always one of my favorites is value pricing and making sure that you're pricing the products appropriately for the value that you're providing the customers. And as you touched on, Sundyne had done a little bit of pricing work, but I'd say it was a little bit more of the 101, and we really, partnered with you guys to take it to the next level.
So we wanted to make sure that we were getting make price actually based on the value to the customer. What actually happened during the whole period is that we started getting dramatic inflation. We were doing a lot of analytical work around what is the pricing impact and what's happening to our volumes. I made some moves with the pricing steering committee to just go ahead and take some pretty significant price increases. And it really gave us even further conviction that our products and our parts were able to command that kind of value.
As you're driving a lot of different levers, you never get it all perfectly right. And we certainly made some mistakes along the way, and we learned from it.
So here's where we'll talk about hydrogen. That was really right as I joined. So July of 21, we thought that hydrogen was a great place to that was going to grow dramatically. But the market was shifting, and we were tasking the head of sales to get a certain revenue number. And what happened was we had some specific target markets. Those weren't coming to pan out. They weren't coming to fruition. So we started as a company just kind of chasing, I'll say, very random end markets. And what I talked to the team about is what's the path to greatness. So as that was being determined that we really didn't have a path, I think part of the point of leadership and definitely partnership is that we were, both you, Dan, and I and others were excited. We realized that wasn't really the right place. And in fact, what we did is we focused on biofuels and carbon capture, which were, and we did the proper work. I'd say what we did, the market shifted a bit, but also what we did is we said which markets are growing, where do we as Sundyne have the right to win,
and where our products have the right to win was pretty key. There was a point in the journey when things really started to click, and that's always a fun part of the overall journey. Tell me a little bit about when the business really started to hit its stride and when you kind of knew you were at that point.
I think it was 23. We had the team, we had the right incentive structures, so I think those things were going our way. And then we did also have the markets were starting to, be more balanced and pick up a bit. The team was very aligned on how we worked together and very efficient, and we were really fast moving and able to really accelerate revenue and EBITDA.
And one of the things I remember from that period was one of the presentations we did to your senior management team about the equity price appreciation. Every member of the senior management team was an equity holder. A lot of them invested their own money and also had the management equity incentive plan. Having the team really sort of understand their actions were really increasing shareholder value and their shareholders, so it was impacting their own pocketbook, was pretty cool to see how that come together.
Yeah, I think it's really important to make the management team equity holders and also allow them to invest, because you really see a direct correlation with the work you're doing and the results you're driving and what the final outcome is. And what's really good about the way we partner together is that every year we had a meeting with all of the equity holders. So, you, Dan, and Zach, and I would all present to the team and say, this is the valuation. And it was done by a third party. So these were real numbers so people could see the impact. And that creates a lot of excitement, and it gets people even more excited to continue that journey and that work.
What's the part of our partnership that you're going to remember the most as we walk through to the next chapter of Sundyne?
It's really the journey itself. Like, even as we're talking here, it's fun to reflect upon that. Sometimes I'm asked, why Warburg? And for me, a lot of it is that they're very focused on growth and doing it in a collaborative way. So we were able to grow dramatically with the team's support, so Dan, you and the team, but also with the other resources within the firm. We always collaborated. We always could just pick up the phone or text or call or email. And it was a collaboration. It was a partnership. And I feel like at this point now it's a friendship. And I don't think you always are going to get that in any role and with a board or with an investor. And so I think we just went through a very extraordinary journey together, and it came with a great outcome.
So Barry, really appreciate you joining us and sharing your perspectives on the journey at Sundyne. We accomplished a lot, but I'm confident the best chapters are still ahead for the company.
I agree. Thank you.
All right, thank you.